You're watching City Channel 4, your window to our community.
Good evening, and welcome to the 12th Annual City of Iowa City Human Rights Commission Youth Awards Ceremony. My name is Harry Olmstead, and I am a member of the Human Rights Commission. It is with great privilege that we are all here this evening to recognize the acts of the youth of this community to human rights. Tonight, we will honor over 30 area youth who have volunteered their time and skills to make this world a better place, and one youth ally who has inspired, motivated, and cultivated our youth to invest their attention and energies on issues of crucial importance in their own lives and in the lives of others. On behalf of the entire commission, I'd like to say congratulations to all the honorees here tonight. We, the commission, are very excited and very pleased to have so many of you being recognized. We would also like to acknowledge the many parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians, and school staff here tonight to show their support for all of the honorees. Before I introduce our mayor, I would like to take a few moments to discuss with you the history of the Human Rights Commission. The City of Iowa City established the Human Rights Commission in August of 1963 to address issues of inequality that were occurring in our community, particularly as it related to persons of color not being afforded the same housing opportunities as others. Today, the Human Rights Commission strives to do the same work 52 years after its establishment. The Commission still works to achieve the same goals. The Commission holds monthly public meetings and programs and works with various community groups, organizations, and the City Council to ensure that the rights of each member of this community are ever present and protected. The current Commission members are myself, Ali Adman, who is not here with us this evening, Eddie Pierce Thompson, if you'll stand. The chair, Joe Cotter. Shams Goniam. Vice Chair, Kim Hanahan. Stella Hart. Paul Reddish. And Orville Townsend Sr. In 2003, the Human Rights Commission started the Youth Human Rights Awards to recognize the annual contributions of youth in this community to human rights. The Commission desired to encourage youth to do acts of goodwill and encourage humanitarian efforts regardless of age. Here we are 12 years later, and we are continually impressed with the numerous activities performed by local youth that promote and or contribute to human rights. To further these efforts, the Human Rights Commission in 2012 introduced the Youth Ally Award, which recognizes an adult who has inspired local youth to become involved in human rights activities and initiatives either locally or abroad. Unlike other awards, community youth nominate an adult for this special recognition. I know I speak for myself and for the entire commission when I say we are so pleased by the quality, creativity, and sincerity of the work each of you honorees are volunteering your time for. Our keynote speaker for this evening is a local attorney and a mayor of Iowa City, Matthew Hyatt. It is an honor to have the mayor here with us this evening to help us recognize the honorees. Without further ado, I present Mayor Matthew Hyatt. See that?
Thank you, Harry, and thank you to the Human Rights Commission. The city of Iowa City has at least a dozen commissions of citizen volunteers who help us make important decisions, but the Human Rights Commission is right up there at the top in terms of the critical work being done at City Hall, and I appreciate what you do for the city. And I want to thank the students in the crowd. You're the reason we're here tonight, and also your families. You're here, and I'm going to be speaking primarily to you, because you have given of yourselves and you have engaged in an act of service. And I do these events every year. It's always remarkable to me to see so many young people doing so many incredible things at such a young age. I've done a lot of volunteer work in my life, but really none of it started until I was in college. I wasn't engaged the way you are as young people. But being invited to speak here this evening always makes me think about what it means to volunteer, what it takes to volunteer. And what I came up with was that I think volunteering does good in both obvious ways and in less obvious ways. And that you might be surprised that volunteering can help the volunteer as much as it helps the person being helped. And I want to deliver three basic quick messages to you this evening. And the first message is that most obviously volunteering helps others, helps the people you're working with. There is so much need in this community, in this state, around the country, around the world. And you don't have to look far to see that need. And there is always something you can do, no matter what your age is, no matter what your experience or education is, no matter what your abilities are. You can do something to better the world. I was in the Peace Corps for a couple of years after college, and the Peace Corps is an organization that started many years ago, and it sends young college graduates out to developing countries around the world to lend technical expertise with things. I was sent to Bolivia in the middle of South America, up to the mountains of the Andes, and I was part of a project that built drinking water systems and organized villages. These are villages of Indians who had descended from the Incas, and that's where I worked for 2 years on a water project. I was essentially an engineer, but in college I had studied history. I had no idea how to build a water system or what gravity flow or water pressure, things like that meant. I had no idea about that, and I certainly didn't know how to be a community volunteer. But why did they select me to do this job? I think it's because they knew that I was willing and that they figured they could teach me how to do these things. And they did, and I was able to do them pretty well for a couple of years, and then I came back to the States. And what I realized was, I think the key to being a good volunteer is that it doesn't require a particular expertise on your part. What it requires is enthusiasm and a willingness to lend your time. A willingness and an enthusiasm, that really is the key to volunteering. And so whether you lead a food drive or help clean up a park or teach someone to read, any of those things, it's the attitude of service that is more important than anything else. And you'll see that will carry you through whatever service activities you engage in with time. The second point I want to make to you is that and this is maybe a less obvious point, but volunteering is good for you, is good for your future, and frankly can help with your resume. And that seems maybe a little funny to be mentioning to you, but soon, and I know you're of all ages here, typically we have people as young as 10 or 12 years old and as old as, and younger than that sometimes, and as old as high school juniors and seniors. But at some point, you will be applying to college. And being able to show that you have provided help to others as a young person is always a plus. And the same is true when you get out into the working world. If you can help others and in the process boost your own odds of getting into the college of your choice or getting the job that you want, there is nothing wrong with that. And my third point is that you never know where a volunteer opportunity might take you. And I'm going to give you another personal example. When I was in college, I had an opportunity to go to Costa Rica with my mom. She was a social worker, and she was going to a conference on peace in Costa Rica. And I had a window of time where I wasn't doing anything, and I finagled a ticket out of her just to go see Costa Rica, and I got to go to this conference. And doing that as a 19 or 20-year-old got me interested in Latin America. And I realized I wanted to learn Spanish. I wanted to volunteer. And I had an excitement for that part of the world. And one of the individuals who was on this trip was a professor here at Iowa, a social work professor, who I later found out took college students and graduate students every year down to Mexico to a place where they worked with generally street kids in a very poor community in the middle of Mexico. And he had a program for this. And when I went back to college that fall, I asked him, well, do you think I could do something like this? And he ended up setting me up with a convent in this town in Mexico. And I wrote the head nun in this convent and said, if you guys will take me for a month next summer, I will come down with this program this professor's got and give my services for free, and will you take me? And I barely spoke any Spanish at the time. To my surprise, they wrote back and said, sure, come on down. We'll give you food and a place to sleep. You just work with these children and help us with their program. Well, I did that, and I had an incredible time doing it, and I learned Spanish, and that got me thinking. And now, by this point, I was a junior, senior in college, and I had to figure out what to do after college. And I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to apply to the Peace Corps, which I'd really never heard of or thought about before, but they did the kind of the same thing, or at least I thought. And so I applied to the Peace Corps. I got in. I think I got in because I had done this volunteer thing the summer before, and had I not asked this professor about it through this trip I took, I wouldn't have been in that position. And so those things all led to the next step in my life. And frankly, later on as an adult, especially after I came back to Iowa City, and by now I was in my early 30s, I knew from the community organizing I had done in Bolivia that a person can accomplish a lot by bringing others together. And frankly, this is one of the reasons I got involved as a volunteer in Iowa City, and one of the reasons I ran for city council, and one of the reasons I became mayor. And looking back now after all these years, what I realize is I can trace what I'm doing right now to my experiences as a teenager. And it's a lineal progression. Each thing led to the next. And so I want you to be thinking about this. We're going to be hearing about what you did to help the community and that. But as you reflect on this evening and reflect on your volunteer work, I would encourage you to ask yourselves questions like, did you learn something through this experience that you want to know more about? Did you meet someone who is older than you and is doing something you think you might want to do? Did you hear about another group or another organization that is doing something in the community that you think is interesting? And the bigger question to ask yourselves would be, did this experience make you think more about what you might want to do next summer or next year or in 5 years? And if any of the answers to those questions is yes, then I think you should pursue that further, because opportunities will happen to you as you get older if you make an effort to find out more, and if you are inquisitive, and if you ask questions of those who are a little ahead of you in the game. And so if you're 12 years old or you're 22 years old, you probably don't fully appreciate the zillions of things out there you can do as a young person to help others and to better yourselves and to serve your community. And so my biggest point of encouragement is to keep your eyes open and to ask for guidance and to maintain a sense of curiosity. And if you do these things, you're going to know so much more about what your options might be as you get older in terms of extracurriculars or summer jobs or colleges or what to study in college or what to do as an adult after you get out of college and you're trying to figure out what to do. And you will have more options at all of those points in time because you will have more contacts and you will know people who want to help you. So, but you're here tonight, and frankly, you're the cream of the crop to begin with, and you're off to a great start. And so in some respects, I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'm serious about this. I don't want this to be the end of your engagement with the community. I hope it's the beginning of a long period of engagement with either this community or whatever community you end up in as an adult. And I think if you follow this engagement, if you keep doing the kinds of things you're doing right now into your adult life, you will find your life to be, I promise you, 100 times more interesting, and you will improve your communities. And it's easy for me to say this because my mom's not here, but the more adventurous you are, the more gray hairs your parents will get. But the more fascinating you will find your lives and your world to be. So I hope you give yourselves a pat on the back, and I hope you thank your parents and your teachers and the other people who have played a role in your lives thus far. They're a big part of why you are sitting up here with us this evening. But I want you to know that the Human Rights Commission and the City of Iowa City are profoundly grateful for what you do in our community. It's important, it matters, it makes a difference, and I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Shams Ghonim, and I'm really honored to be here tonight with you all. This year, youth honorees are just a fantastic group, as you will soon hear. But before I begin the ceremony, I would like to thank Mayor Hayek for his words of inspiration and encouragement, and then move to something very special for tonight. This year, we are beginning with the Youth Ally Award, which was created in 2012, recognizing an adult who has inspired local youth to become involved in human rights activities and initiatives, either locally or globally. The Youth Ally Award is an award where youth in the community nominate an adult for special recognition. It recognizes adults who, through their work and trust in youth within the Iowa City area, have empowered them. This year, we honor Henry Harper as the 2015 recipient. Mr. Harper has worked with area youth on an ongoing basis in the Iowa City community since 1998. Serving as the executive director of Fast Track, Mr. Harper inspired youth in this community to invest and focus their attention and energies on issues of crucial importance to their lives and their futures, whether it was about voting, college, or travel to other countries. Our youth reported that they learned many lessons from Henry on how they needed to be part of the change they wanted to see in their own lives, in our community, and the world. Henry guided and encouraged community youth to travel to many places, like Belize, to help others by building and painting homes, by having churches connect with partners and people who otherwise they would not have met, and by serving the needs of others without expecting anything in return. As the current executive director of Connect, Henry continues to teach youth that the world is not so small as the little box they may think it to be, and that everything we do matters. What we stand for and what we believe in, whether within our own lives, our communities, or everyone whose life we touch, they all matter. Henry's influence and leadership has been life-changing for countless youth in this community and continues to reach much further beyond him. He taught area youth to believe in themselves, and in doing so, they can go far beyond their own imagination, as well as helping many others along the way. Please help me applaud all of Henry's terrific and inspiring work with our youth. Our first recipient of a youth award this evening is Joey Traum. Joey reached out to the ARC of Southeast Iowa when they were in the planning phase of constructing a fully accessible park outdoor recreation area for individuals with special needs. Since that time, Joey has been working on the Tire Dragon, spending countless hours collecting and delivering tires. Joey was interested in seeking a project that would be an option to help him pursue an Eagle Scout merit, and also a project that would give back to an organization that has given and supported his family. Joey has been quoted as saying, "My brother has special needs, and we are at the ARC of Southeast Iowa a lot. So I wanted to give back to them for all the stuff they've done for my brother by helping them build this park." Joey's involvement in this project demonstrates his commitment to creating inclusive and therapeutic play for not just his brother, but for all the children and families who stand to benefit from this community's resource. Joey is an amazing example of our next generation of leaders, and we're so proud of him. Please join me in congratulating him. The next recipients are all seniors who are members and representatives of Iowa City West High School, the 1440 Interact. They are Molly Kuhn, Haley Stefan, Sarah Reinhardt, and Molly Lipman. These very special students have led the organization with hard work and example. And as importantly, they have been members of the service group throughout their high school careers. West High 1440 Interact is a local youth service group widely recognized throughout the Iowa City area for its community and international service. They volunteer to aid local elementary schools, Habitat for Humanity, Ronald McDonald House, Dance Marathon, Kids Against Hunger, NAMI, Run for the Schools, the Children's Museum, and many, many more local organizations. In addition, they support international projects. The group provides monthly financial assistance for a Guatemalan child, and many members participate in a spring break service trip to Mexico, as did Molly Lipman and Sarah Reinhardt, where many projects are realized in that community. Some, like Molly Cohen, choose to take part in other humanitarian missions, such as Mission Starfish in Haiti, as well as microloans are made to Kiva, benefiting people around the world. The effects of the efforts of West High 1440 Interact are felt worldwide, promoting goodwill and creating a fairer playing field for those to whom life has not dealt a fair hand. These young people illustrate the character and commitment of West High 1440 Interact as a whole by their unselfish dedication to charitable service. Please help me in recognizing the many accomplishments of these senior members of West High 1440 Interact. The next recipient, Badra Khalil, organized a group of her friends, 9 total, to go and volunteer at the Iowa City Salvation Army. She wanted to help families in need here in Iowa City by providing Thanksgiving meal boxes. The group assembled 100 Thanksgiving meal boxes for those in need in the Iowa City community. Badra also wrote a letter to Costco, and with her letter inspired Costco employees to put together an employee food drive for the Salvation Army. In addition, Badra volunteered to help Feed My Starving Children mobile pack event at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. There, she worked hard to prepare meals for malnutrition children, which was sent out to countries in need around the world. Let's give a big round of applause to Badra. The next group of City High students who are wonderfully and contributed a great deal today, we honor them are Lauren Honderchuk, Laura Cornell, Max Otwadeshi, Sonali Dorham, Abby Dixon, and BJ Sullivan. Over the spring break, they traveled to Ectopico, Mexico. Okay. With Rotary members and University of Iowa students. They spent the week participating in service projects to help the people of Ecotepca, Mexico. These projects helped people access medical and dental care that otherwise would not have been available for them. They also worked to improve local school facilities. This was a life-changing experience for these students, as they saw that not everyone around the world enjoy the rights that we often take for granted. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding students. The next group of City High students are Abby Dixon, BJ Sullivan, and Riley Lures. They helped to organize and host the annual Dance for Humanity fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. The students visited local businesses to request them for the silent auction, for help in the silent auction. They sold tickets to the event and also helped with setup at Old Brick and hosting the event. This year, the fundraiser raised over $2,500. Since its inception, Dance for Humanity has raised over $20,000 to support Habitat's mission of providing safe, affordable housing both at home and abroad. This great work that these students do, give them, please, is so important, so please give them a round of applause. The next two high school students at Regina Catholic Education Center are Thomas Nipola and Aaron Demore. They spent last summer building houses in Guatemala. Over their summer break in Guatemala, they were teamed with a local contractor and built 3 to 5 cinder block homes with foundation and tin roof. In fact, Thomas will spend this summer doing the same. This will be his third summer spending his time volunteering in Guatemala. Please let us all congratulate Thomas and Aaron. The next group of Regina Catholic Education Center high school students are Gabby Thompson, Emma Hartwig, Anna Utak, and Morgan Welter. These great students, volunteers, give their time throughout Mercy Hospital here in Iowa City. The students can be found delivering packages, mailing packages, greeting visitors, and helping people navigate the hospital, bringing comfort and distraction to patients and visitors of patients alike, improving the hospital experience for all. Please help me recognize these 3 wonderful ladies. Like the preceding group, this group of Regina's Catholic Education Center High School are equally wonderful in their dedication and volunteerism. They are Nathan Stinger, Catherine Loranger, and Ken Westrick. They have been volunteering at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics throughout the school year, assisting patients and families. They provide information and services to the public, working in the baby unit, flower shop, and mail delivery. They have contributed countless volunteer hours in support of the hospital's mission of providing service excellence in a caring, health-enhancing environment. Let us please give a very deserving round of applause to Nathan, Catherine, and Ken. Grant Hogan, a senior at Regina Catholic Education Center, organized a food drive to benefit the Crisis Center of Johnson County. Grant took on the task of delivering the food with his own pickup to the Crisis Center and even got other students to assist him in this most worthy of activity. Please congratulate Grant. Last but not least, the following West High students: Akash Borde, Daniel Daigle, Anushka Divakar, Willem Paul, and Anna Schuhart. They organized and spent countless hours coordinating a music and art festival held this past March to raise funds for Iowa Most, or Iowa Miles of Smiles team, whose annual mission trips to Guatemala provide free left lip and palate reconstructive surgery for people of extremely limited financial means. To date, the event has raised $6,000 and contributions are still coming in. Because of these students, other children will have improved lives and bigger smiles. Let us please congratulate them.
Good evening. My name is Oliver Townsend, Sr. On behalf of the Human Rights Commission, I would like to first thank all of the honorees that have been recognized here this evening. I speak for everyone when I say that the work you've done, the time you've given to help others is what makes a community, and I am very proud to be part of this great community. I also would like to thank the Mayor, Matt Hyatt. Mayor, your presence and support of our youth is very much appreciated. Thank you for sharing your time and inspiring words with us this evening. Last but not least, I want to thank the nominators, who understood the importance of acknowledging the good work and good deeds of our youth. We'd also like to acknowledge the parents, grandparents, guardians, teachers, and mentors. Thank you for the leadership and support you've given and provided these students. Please, everyone, let's continue to encourage our youth in this community and in all communities take time to help others. Before we close the ceremony, I would like to, the commission would like to acknowledge Stephanie Bauer. Stephanie, are you around? Can you be visible and wave? We'd like to acknowledge and thank Stephanie for the leadership she provides to the commission and for coordinating her efforts for this event this evening. I'd like to remind all of the recipients to come forward on the stage so that we may take a picture together, a group picture. Afterwards, please join others in the Entryway for Refreshment. We thank you for coming and keep up the good work.
You're watching City Channel 4. On TV, online, on demand, on Facebook, and now on the go on your mobile device.